Hey guys, welcome back to World of Warships. Today we're taking a look at the new update. 15.5 is the American Independence Day 250 years event, so a lot of American themed content here. Alongside new ships, we're seeing Fort Worth here. Some old ships coming back like Wisconsin in the form of its golden variant. Some special camos, that sort of thing, like this one for Maine. I think this is the first different camo we've seen on a super ship. Rather interesting that. Some nice content for free-to-play players to work through. You can get yourself a Congress completely for free this update. This is sort of a mini Alaska. We get that very nice deck armor that I was not so enjoying. Fort Worth was lacking there. So in this Dawn of a Nation, you can grind through this. And over in the final rewards, you'll find Congress. Very nice, as this also mirrors the old San Diego grind that we could get last year. If you already have Congress, you're getting doubloons here. This isn't like credits or anything like that. So well worth looking into for most people. That one is going to be very, very simple stuff by playing the game and getting base XP. Nothing very complicated there, though I do think you'll have to play quite consistently. This is an event for players who have a lot of free time, but maybe less money. The people who have a lot of money and less free time, I suppose you're going for the gambling boxes, I guess. So here we are, update 15.5, the patch notes. This is what we're getting into the 250th anniversary. You'll see the new port, which does look very nice, as well as a premium camo or permanent camo that you can get for free, as well as 3 artillery chests just by playing a battle. Those do have the chance of dropping a Fort Worth, but very, very, very low chance. We already showed the Dawn of Nation event here, but slowly working your way through this throughout the update will, very nice, give you the option to get a Congress completely for free. That is really cool. If you already have it, 11,000 doubloons compensation. Excellent, excellent part of this update, as well as a main camo that you can get as well here. Though super ship's pretty expensive to run, so that's not really going to be something you'll play that often, more than likely. Now, here we need to look at Wisconsin, Fort Worth, and Puerto Rico coming back here as well. Big concern of mine, because seemingly the only way to get yourself a Wisconsin or a Puerto Rico in this update is through loot boxes, and these are multi-level loot boxes. You'll find them here in the armory. First, I do want to mention that Fort Worth does have an Admiral bundle for doubloons. I was not given this information early. This just was a pleasant surprise here. It changes the thought process a little bit on this ship, as doubloons are more readily available for discounts. You can use a birthday coupon to get 100% doubloons value of whatever you buy in the premium shop, that sort of thing. Different events throughout the year can get you doubloons. See the Congress. If you already have Congress, you're getting 11,000 doubloons, right? There are ways of getting doubloons that aren't just for the full upfront cost of $150 that Fort Worth would normally be. I think it's an interesting ship if you're not spending $150 on it. I think probably for Cole, it would be a very interesting ship with this reload booster thing. Radar, of course, getting you a very potent early game against destroyers, that sort of thing. It's lacking some armor. You guys have seen the video already. The guns being cruiser dispersion, not battle cruiser dispersion, are very nice for some consistency there. Though without the reload booster, it is a little bit long on the reload side. It's 37,000 doubloons, still very expensive for a tier 9. But I will say, the doubloon cost is a much, much better bundle than the regular money purchase, as there are many ways to get doubloons. Unfortunately, though, we gotta start talking about these containers. So this will also give you the option for a Fort Worth here. You'll get a 5% chance of a ship dropping out of one of these containers, but there's 12 ships in total. Yeah, that's gonna bring things down a little bit. No guaranteed drop of a ship either. So worth mentioning that this is going to take you a lot of rolls to get a specific ship you want. So if you want a ship that has been removed, like Enterprise, a ship that hasn't been available for a very long time, like Tennessee, Bridgeport, maybe you missed out on that one, perhaps. Cambridge, like there are ships here I could see you being interested in. It's going to be very expensive to get those ships to guarantee them. So I've tried to do a little bit of math here. This is very approximate. It's not perfect. It's hard to really perfectly guarantee a lot of these drops. But this presidential trunk container is the first layer. You get a 1 in 20 of getting a ship, and there are 12 ships. So you have a 1 in 240 chance of getting the ship that you want out of one container. The T-Caddy containers here are another drop out of this container, which is where you are going to find these golden ships. So if you want a Wisconsin, if you want a Puerto Rico, that's where you have to go. Multi-layered loot boxes. This is one of the worst, most predatory tactics that game developers will use these days. And Wargaming is all in on it. It is horrific. I really wish they would stop this. They mentioned that they were bringing back these previous dockyard ships this year, and I was very, very excited for that. I thought that was going to be awesome. Turns out a bit of a monkey's paw moment. Oh my goodness. We are looking at multi-layer loot boxes for thousands of dollars to try and guarantee some of these ships. Looking at those T-Caddies, it is a 1 in 10 chance of a ship to drop. A guaranteed ship drop every 20 T-Caddy containers, though, for 3 ships. So a 1 in 30 to get the ship that you want out of that one. Of course, that is just the T-Caddy. That's per T-Caddy. So we need to take into account the presidential trunk dropping a T-Cat. Oh my, it gets so confusing even when I have it laid out like this. Ridiculous. It's just such a terrible practice in the industry. It needs to be more regulated, honestly. It's just unregulated gambling at this point. Anyways, 1 in 10 to get a T-Caddy, 1 in 10 to get a ship to drop out of a T-Caddy, and 1 in 3 to get a ship, the ship that you want out of it. So a 1 in 300 to get the ship that you want. Number of containers. This is some very approximate math, okay? Very, very approximate. But if you have a 1 in 240 chance of getting an item, it'll take 167 containers to have a 50% chance of that item dropping at least once. 552 containers to have a 90% chance of that item dropping at least once, and 1,103 containers for a 99%. Okay, so to guarantee something is very nebulous here. It's very hard to calculate. Now, this reminder is for the presidential trunk ships. So that is this first layer where we see Enterprise, Cambridge, Fort Worth, those ships. This is not the drop chance if you want to get yourself a Wisconsin. That's where we have to look at this T-Caddy ship that you would want. 208 containers now for that 50% drop. 690 containers to get a 90% chance of a ship dropping that you want, that one ship, or 1380. Now, this is not taking into account the 20 pity timer, I suppose, on specifically the T-Caddy ships. Again, approximate math here. It could be a little bit less than this. I could even be wrong by a fact, like by 2. Like I could be wrong by its double. I'm doubling what it could be. But as you'll see, 25 containers cost $100 US. So if we go to the 90% chance on each of these calculations, 552 containers, I know you're not getting them in exact bundles to get there, but 552 divided by 25 times 100, it's $2,200 if you want to guarantee a ship out of this one, the specific ship that you want out of the first layer. That's the Fort Worth, Enterprise, Cambridge, etc. If you want to try to guarantee a ship out of the T-Caddy, this is for the Wisconsin, $2,700 US, 90% chance. You could get lucky. There will be people that get lucky on this. I promise you that. You're going to see it on social media. You're going to see it on Discord. My first container dropped a Wisconsin G. That is insane luck, okay? I need you to understand that this is incredibly predatory, okay? I don't think the human brain is well designed to deal with these sorts of possibilities and the chance of something happening. They're preying on people that are vulnerable to gambling addictions, and I don't like it. I don't like it. I really don't like it. I hate that this is how some of these ships are returning. I really hate it that these dockyards are seemingly returning in this way. Dockyards are some of the best events Wargaming puts on, and they're bringing them back like this. It's the worst possible result. Moving on, at least the Battle Pass has some interesting stuff this time. We already looked at Arizona, pretty fun tier 6 battleship available here. You're also getting, you know, the usual steel, some coal, that sort of thing. Some camos for you as well. Interesting that we get a very specific camo for North Carolina. These other ones for Baltimore, for Helena, aren't as interesting in my opinion. If you're from North Carolina, well, congratulations on winning the Stanley Cup. But also, here is a camo that's, I think, in the state flag colors, something like that. So that's cool. NC is quickly becoming one of these ships with the most permanent camo options available for it, which is kind of interesting. Arizona we looked at, pretty good tier 6 battleship. This is the camo you would get on the Helena, pretty basic one. Here's the Baltimore camo. A surprisingly decent event pass, I would say, for 2,500 doubloons on this one. A new feature is decals, which I am not that excited for. There's not a lot of possibilities with this. I was really hoping that these decals would actually give us the option to show off some of the achievements that we've collected, perhaps golden clasps, that sort of thing. That would be very interesting, but unfortunately, that is not the way this is going, at least to start. You'll find it here in the exterior tab. We'll go over to this at the very end, and you'll have 6 options to actually slot these decals. Notice that it's linking the decal to the ship. These will drop from containers that you can grind out through combat missions in the current update. So you'll see over here in the common tab, you'll get some containers that will contain some of these decals. Very, very strange method of distribution as well as implementation here. I don't understand why necessarily these are linking to a specific ship and you can't use multiple of them. There are so many ships in this game, and I mean, not that many options, I would say. That's the bow options. If we go to the mid-section options, these are different phrases, I suppose. This is not very interesting to me at all, but perhaps it is to you. And in the stern section is just a repeat of the bow options here. Very strange implementation. Notably, this is only available on tier 9s at the moment. So tier 8s, tier 10s, anything like that, not available. We'll also see that these are incompatible with anything that has sort of a 3D camo effect. To be honest with you, feels like a very strange use of developer time. Feels like we haven't had a lot of new content in the game. I know Italian subs, but that is not interesting to the vast majority of us surface ship players. New shadow improvements, very interesting. We always want to see some nice graphics improvements. Would love to see them upgrade their anti-aliasing tech to be less blurry. You know, nice to see the shadows getting less blurry, but maybe the anti-aliasing could be improved as well. Asymmetric battles are being prolonged. A lot of people were upset that these were being removed. Very weird decision to have a core battle type seemingly at this point be in and out of the game. Feels very weird. Here's these Italian subs. I mean, it's been a rough start to the year in my perspective, as far as the content we've been getting, the distribution of that content. Feels like the start of 2025 all over again. Maybe they'll clean things up in the second half of 2026, much like they did in the second half of 2025. I don't know. We'll see. That was 10th anniversary of the game. I don't know if there's any sort of big milestone like that they're incentivized to get people to play again. But it would be nice. Wargaming, it would be nice. Clan battles, getting some notable, some notable ships getting blocked out of playing in clan battles. Good decisions, I would say. Not that I play clan battles anymore these days. Brawls look, unfortunately, rather boring this update, so we will skip through that. Armory, here we go. We got some new ships coming later. So Sete De Setembro, I don't know how to pronounce these things. I'll have to learn it for the video, of course, try my best. But June 24th, new Pan-American battleship. Looking like a Minnesota with Montana guns by the looks of things here. Lower HP pool. Being Pan-American, we would expect to see, yes, some combat instructions. So here they are. Main battery reload booster, as well as a consumable prep time. So a bit like a Wisconsin reload booster, I guess. Kind of. Perhaps not quite as powerful, as Wisconsin does get 80% on that consumable cooldown. But interesting to see a new ship here from the Armory. Distribution is what we were talking about. Sure feels like a lot of gambling ships, Admiral bundles for hundreds of dollars all the time. Nice to see new content coming for people who actually just play the game rather than insert credit card. No offense if you do, okay, but as someone who covers this game, it's really gets tiring constantly playing the trickle of new premiums, and they're all just out of the price bracket for the vast majority of the audience. That starts to feel bad after a while. So I'm very excited to see this. 62,000 research points here for this one. Bayard coming back for coal. Nice. We have a little over 100,000 coal for that one. Maybe, okay, a little tinfoil hat theory time, but perhaps this is why we're seeing no heal on this ship. Made a video on this one wondering why this ship did not get a heal of all the incredibly powerful tier 8 cruisers. Mines, Kutuzov, Cleveland. There are plenty of extremely powerful light cruisers at this tier that got heals this update, or last update rather. Bayard did not. Perhaps this is why. They knew they were going to give it away to a lot more people for a very nice in-game resource in coal. I still think this ship is worth getting, by the way. Very, very fun, though extremely challenging. Go check out that video from a couple weeks ago if you are interested. And last new ship is Baotou? Again, pronunciation apologies. I am horrible at that sort of thing. This one will be available in random bundles as well as Admiral bundle. Oh no. Speaking of distribution and disappointed. Ship rotation running through here. Next update 15.6. We got to wait a month for them to rotate out and new ones to come back in. Notable ones include Flandre, Wichita. A lot of people interested in that one with the new heals, of course. We're also seeing Maltese Knight's favorite ship in the entire game, Tiger 59, come back, as well as Aguirre. Very, very cool. This one is a premium that is a tanky cruiser, although with all the other cruisers getting heals, maybe this is a little bit less powerful in comparison, but interesting tier 8 cruiser coming next update, 15.6. We'll have to wait for that. Balance changes, Colombo getting nerfs. Love to see it. Absolutely love to see it. And a bunch of bug fixes. Nice. There were a lot of bugs this last update, so very happy to see that. Notably, no fix for the server lag that we've been getting recently. A little sad to see that, but very nice to see especially the submarine surveillance bugs getting dealt with there. That was a big problem for dealing with subs in the early game. They kind of had free reign to be undetected for like 5 minutes or something like that. Easily able to get in your backline without any sort of contest there. And that's looking like about it for this update. Notably, Dawn of a Nation, very, very cool. I was really, really excited for the San Diego and its return to the game for people to grind towards. Congress, people being able to grind for this ship now. I really, really like this design of missions and allowing people to play the game and earn stuff rather than, again, the distribution method of so many ships these days is just so horrific from just a normal player's perspective. Not even free to play, but like, what if you spent $100 a month on the game? Okay, think about that. $100 a month. You're not even getting close to getting a Wisconsin G, okay? $100 a month is an insane amount to spend on a single video game. And I know, you can do whatever you want with your money, but for me, I think about that. I'm like, I'm waiting for a Steam sale for, can it go under $30 Canadian? That's maybe, okay, I'll think about picking that game up 2 years after it launched or something, you know? That's my perspective, I suppose. I'm very fortunate that I get to play these things because I'm a CC, but I mean, if I wasn't a CC, I'm not getting these things. I just simply am not. These are not available for someone like me if I wasn't a CC. Although I did notice one more thing that is available for people who are not spending a crazy amount of place of residence. Some countries know it. Anyways, for people who are just playing the game, not spending a ton of money, War is Over standard containers here in the Armory. For coal, if you missed out on that San Diego collection that was last year, you can now complete it. So if you didn't quite finish it up, or if you completely missed out on it, you can now complete this collection and get yourself a San Diego completely for free. You're spending coal to do that. Remember, of course, with these that you'll have duplicates, so don't use your duplicates until you know that you can finish the entire collection up. But this is where you find San Diego. And if you already have a San Diego and you missed out on this collection, this is just 11,000 doubloons for you to get. If you do this and you go through and get yourself the Congress at the end of this section, I mean, that's like 22,000 doubloons that you're getting. If you already had Congress, if you already had San Diego. I know that's not everyone, of course, but there are ways of earning doubloons, and that's why I'm also interested in talking about Fort Worth here a little bit. Maybe I got to make another video on the loot boxes. That's maybe I should make another video on Fort Worth. Maybe it'll get a little more favorable perspective when I'm not comparing its playstyle and the gameplay opportunities to a $150 asking price for this ship. That like it or not, that does color the perspective that I will have on a ship release, okay? Perhaps I shouldn't let it, but it does, okay? It's just so much money. At least this way, it is available for doubloons. I wish I had known that up front. Perhaps I'll get that information earlier next time. But for now, that is going to do it for the update, except for one little Easter egg. You know that camo that you get for free by just playing one game that is applicable to any tier 10 ship? Well then, I think it could be rather funny. We got ourselves an American Independence Day Conqueror. And with that, that is the new update. Let me know what you're most excited for. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.